after that, I had a knowing, I said to Jesus, I had a knowing that I didn't want to come back on earth, that I would have to come back on earth. And even though Jesus didn't talk to me, I felt it. In heaven, you speak in a telepathic mode, and even better than telepathy. Telepathy is me giving you a thought and you understanding it. In heaven, it's even faster. It's a process that's a knowing. We go from knowing to knowing. The thoughts produce in me, and it's instantly at the same time understood by the other person. So as soon as I had that knowing, as soon as he would decide that I was going back, I had that knowing. He didn't have to tell me. And I did not want to come back. And so I told Jesus, I said, I don't want to come back on earth. I said, I want to stay here because in this world, in that world, it's very dark. There are many people that are mean, selfish, self-centered. They don't care about anybody else but themselves. And I cannot relate to that world anymore. I cannot relate. I'm here. I'm home. I stay here. This is love. This is home. This is relief. This is peace. I want to stay here, Jesus. I didn't want to go back. And I said, if you have me to go back, my body is beyond exhaustion over there. It's beyond exhaustion. I stay here. So, but I felt that that was not going to be the case. He didn't say, no, I'm not staying, you have to go back. But I knew, I'm not sure. For me, I felt that light where I was in was, we came out of the light to go towards a location. And when I look at where it was in a distance, it was a very, very beautiful, very big and beautiful city that I call the City of Light, the Crystal City. And it was actually huge. I saw huge, very tall buildings that were made of crystal, or at least it looked like it was made of crystal because they were so brilliant and so shiny. And we were walking towards that direction, and I was with Jesus, who was on my left. And I was in a hurry. I was so excited to get. I said, "Oh my gosh, I'm going home." And I was walking and excited, and Jesus was on my side. And at that time, when Jesus came on my side, he took a form that was more human. He looked like the Jesus we think of on earth, about 6 foot high, and he had a robe and a toge, just like the Jesus we picture. My left, and I was excited, and we were going, and you have to know that in heaven, we have, it's a very, and I said that already, but I like to say it, it's a very vibrant place. It's not a place where, like we do a lot in our spiritual centers, whether it's a church, whether it's sometimes whether it's another spiritual area, people always try to stay very silent and not dare to move anything. Everything has to be really, and if you move around, people look at you. But heaven, once you're over there, it's a very vibrant place, a very joyful and vibrant, and everybody's so very busy doing all kind of things. And that's where we were going, and I felt that atmosphere that was very busy, and looking ahead, I could feel that it was a place that was such a happy place, just like when you go on vacation somewhere and it depends if for you, Ted, vacation is the beach, or for somebody else it's the mountain. But when you're on vacation, you have left all your business and your problem and your worries behind, and you are on vacation in life, no computer, no cell phone, just the beach, drinking, and nice juice or anything delicious, looking at that ocean and or looking at the mountains, anywhere that makes you happy, and you feel on vacation, no worry at all. That's the feeling I had as I was getting closer to that city. It was where I was going with Jesus, and I was so happy. And while I was walking, I felt, while I was walking there, I felt that some movement to my right. I felt that there were people to my right as well. And I just turned around to look who it was, because, just like when you walk and you feel that people are coming along, and I turned around and I saw a dozen of children angel, or very young angel, around 10 years old, between 9 and 11, around 10 years old, and they were walking towards the same location. We were all walking towards that location, and they were joyful, busy, and long white robe, silverish type of curly hair, very round face, bronzy looking, and they were all walking towards that direction, and we were all walking there, and then they look at me. At some point, they look at me, and as they look at me, they saw Yvonne walking there. Normally, it's normal to see her here. And then they turned around and they saw Jesus. And when they saw Jesus next to me, one of them had their face that started to shine like a bright light. And so happy to see Christ. And he ran into his arm, and all the other one ran into his arms too. But you see, Jesus took them all into his arms. And you would think that we cannot take 12 people, a dozen of angels into your arms, but yet he was able, because in heaven it's all, you can reach the energy, the spirit of everyone, and you can all come and merge into one energy, into one spirit. So Jesus was merging with those angels and giving them the love they needed, as he was holding them, so he could all of them at once. And when he did that, when that exchange of love occurred, Jesus said to them with the most tremendous love, with no rejection feeling. He said to them, "It's Yvonne's moment." Meaning, this is the moment I want to spend with Yvonne for her. She needs that moment. And then he said, go back to your teacher / mother angels, the one that actually are mother figures, the one that angels that take care of them. And and I have to say that because I know, I have a Christian background myself. For many years I've been in the Christian church and had a lot of joy in there, but a lot of disappointment and a lot of hurts as well. There's good and bad, but I want to remember the good in everything I do. But I know that some people would criticize me because I said women angels. Because when Jesus said to those young angels, go back to your mother teachers, and I look back to look at where they were going, and they were the most, I saw there the most magnificent women, very big, tall, beautiful women angels. They had a female energy. They were, and we have to know it's all very pure. Heaven is extremely pure. There is no darkness over there. It's really beautiful. But those angels were long white robe as well, and they had those long hair, and they look at me, and I felt the same love as Christ had given to me. They look at me with love, acceptance, with respect and consideration. And I'm always moved when I speak like that about the love, because it's so much more than you can. Here we get so much. Here we oftentimes have tough loves, and people hurt one another, but there it was really, they look at me with such a, and remember, in heaven everything is from knowing to knowing, thoughts to thoughts. There is no verbal communication. But the way they look at me, what emanated, and they were glowing, all around them was glowing. I have to say that even the angel, everybody in heaven glow, because the inside of us in heaven, it's not bone and flesh and muscles. Actually, the inside of heaven is a light. It's light, it's like a bulb of light. We are beings of light. And those angels were looking at me, those women beings were looking at me with such a consideration, with such a love and such a respect and reverence. I don't know if they were looking at me with reverence. I don't know if they were looking at me with reverence because Jesus was with me or because of me. I don't know. But one thing I'm sure is that in heaven, everybody treats each other with respect. Everybody treat each other with care, with consideration. Everybody see the other one as higher than ourselves. The self is gone in heaven. The ego is gone. All those stronghold of the ego that we put on earth is because we want to protect ourselves of all the hurts we've already had. So, because when a child is born, the child is pure, is joyful, the child is tender, and then with time and all the sufferings we go through, we build some strongholds because we've been rejected, we've been hurt, we've been betrayed. But those angels were there sharing with me without any of that, but pure love and acceptance and inclusion. And the message they were telling me, while they were looking at me with that so much, with a big smile and the love, the message they were telling me is, Yvonne, you're not alone. Yvonne, we love you. You are one of us. You are safe with us. We love you. We will never hurt you. We will never harm you because you're one of us. And it was the most beautiful moment to receive that love, that type of love, that unconditional love. And that's the love that we have in heaven for every one of us. It's that same unconditional love. It was just amazing.